Good Tuesday morning to everyone. Hope you are doing well. We are at the next game in the 1987 American American League Strat-O-Matic replay. If I can get my voice together. Uh, we're at the second game on Friday, June 26, 1987. Game number 492 overall. And it's between the Oakland A's and the Cleveland Indians from Cleveland. Star pitchers for today's game: Dave Stewart for the Oakland A's and Steve Carlton for the Cleveland Indians. One roster move was made. That was by Cleveland. In the previous game, Cleveland, Minnesota, a Keith Atherton fastball got too far inside on Joe Carter, hit him in the face, broke his nose. So Joe Carter will be out for a week, and they have called up Casey Parsons. Casey Parsons is up from the AAA affiliate, as Joe Carter is going to be on the disabled list for 7 days. So that's the one roster move there. Good morning, Dr. D. Dr. D, I was watching a whole bunch of videos on YouTube about my hand situation, and it almost sounds like what I actually have is what they call trigger finger, because this finger, it's all in this one finger, and it does tend to lock up when I bend it, and I kind of snap it back in. I can almost hear a pop when it snaps back in. I've seen some videos on it where people have really deformed and really extreme trigger fingers. Mine seems to be a mild case of it. And they've got these splints you can wear. They've got exercises you can do to your hand, like right in here. There's some exercises you can do to try to improve it or whatever. So I'm definitely watching the videos on that to see if I can work this thing out on its own. So hopefully it's not full-fledged arthritis. It's just, although maybe trigger finger is maybe that's a symptom of arthritis, or maybe it's a small portion of arthritis or whatever. But I kind of feel like that's what I have, just from self-diagnosis and watching what people are talking about and seeing the videos on that. I can see my finger doing the same thing, and it usually happens in the morning when I wake up, or if I have to bend this finger extensively to use it, sometimes it'll lock in place. So it's really like a lock thing. So anyway, that's a sidebar of it. We have, and now I'm dealing with a cold, as you can probably tell by my voice. So it's all in my throat, nothing in my nose. Well, it's a little stuffy nose, but it's mostly in my throat, like a dry cough kind of thing. All right, I'm just a mess right now, that's all. All right, good thing I'm retired, so I don't have to go to work and work through all this stuff. Oakland A's, best record in the league, 42-28. All I can say about Cleveland is they don't have the best record in the league. They're 26-44. But we won't have Joe Carter to push around for another week because he is out. So can't make fun of Joe Carter for a week at least, I guess. Steve Carlton, who will later get traded to the Twins, starts out with the Cleveland Indians. And Steve Carlton in 1987 combined with Minnesota and Cleveland both shows up at 6-14 with a 5.74 ERA. That's the combined for both Minnesota and Cleveland. Let's see, in the replay, he is 2-3 with a 6.12 ERA. 50 innings pitched, 55 hits, 27 walks, and 27 strikeouts. So other than the Parsons for Joe Carter, not much else going on with that. They do get some help in their bullpen, though. Cleveland does, as Rich Yett is moved back to the bullpen out of the rotation. So Rich Yett will be one of the arms available. But their bench is pretty bad, I would say. You got Andre Thornton, Junior Noboa, Chris Bando, and Casey Parsons. That's their four-man bench for Cleveland. So most likely there won't be any pinch hitting going on, because that's just a weak old bench. And Joe Carter is going to have to wait a week to come out and play, as he's recovering from that broken nose. He was drilled by up and in pitch from Keith Atherton on the 25th, the only game of the day, and in Minnesota. And he's got a broken nose and is out for a week. Looking at Oakland's bench and whatnot, they have added outfielder Dwayne Murphy to the roster. So I need to go to the minor leagues and grab Dwayne Murphy and figure out who it is they lose or were they playing a man down. We'll have to figure that out. So I'm going to go get Dwayne Murphy. Very young, very old, I should say, Dwayne Murphy. His heyday was in the early 80s. So here he is, Dwayne Murphy. He's on the roster. So looking at their bench for today's game, I want to make sure I got all the right players. We got Dwayne Murphy. We have Reggie Jackson. We have Terry Steinbach, Luis Polonia, and we also have Johnny LeMaster. So that covers the entire bench for the Oakland A's and who they have. So I'm not using guys that aren't on the real roster. I want to make sure I don't do that. So Johnny LeMaster is the last guy. So a 5-man bench for Oakland. Looking at their bullpen, who they have available. They have Dennis Eckersley, Dennis Lamp, Dave Leeper, Gene Nelson, and Jay Howell. Those are the guys in the bullpen. So now you know who's available for each team. And if you don't see somebody, it's because they're not available. They weren't on the roster. I'll have to learn how to hit the mute button on that. Sorry about that. All right. So now we're ready to go from Cleveland. All the peripheries are out of the way. I'm glad it's good news, Dr. D. I hope it certainly is. Hello, Jeremiah. I love being background noise for you at work. And Dan, good morning. I hope you're enjoying your Strat-O-Matic purchase. Unfortunately, like I said, they don't have it here. The Barnes & Nobles are not here. The closest one's about a 40-minute drive from me. And the chance of them having it in stock is probably not very good. Plus, I'm not going to drive 40 minutes for that anyway. So, but yeah, it looks wonderful. I hope somebody who buys that puts it on, does unboxing on YouTube or something so everybody can see it. It would be neat. All right. Enough rambling. Let's get the game on. Got our dice. Alfredo Griffin will be the leadoff hitter. Griffin on the replay. Usually he bats ninth, but they got him batting leadoff today against the left-hander. So they benched Polonia, who's usually the leadoff hitter, put Griffin first and dropped Stan Javier to ninth. Griffin hitting .265 on the replay, 2 homers, 25 driven in. He at .263 real world. And before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip, and you can see Dr. D. I'm still holding the cup as normal, so that's an improvement. The other day I had to hold it. The other day when it was really bad, I had to hold it like that. But even then, when I released this cup, when I picked this up like this, and then I released it, I could feel a little, almost like a little, like your bones are cracking kind of thing right at the knuckle. I could feel a little small. I could feel a small little bone crack. Not painful, just it's just there. It's noticeable, like a creaky door or something. So I did go on Delphi and look at the pictures. They look very, very, very interesting. There's an interesting looking field they include with that as well. But the part that I liked was that you got the extra players for, almost free. I mean, it's like 75% off or something with free shipping. So that's the part I liked, was the extra players getting them for almost for free. So anyway, ceremonial first sip. And hopefully the steady hand will win out, Dr. D. No problems here. I'm going to hold this here for a second, and then I'm going to release it and see if I feel that snap in my bone. Let me release it. Very, 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 very minor little snap, like you're cracking your knuckles. It's very, 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 very light. More annoying than uncomfortable. Although sometimes it is uncomfortable. All right. Enough finger talk. Raleigh Fingers is not in this game, so let's go to it. 2-9 for Alfredo Griffin is a ground ball to short, and Julio Franco makes the play. One away. One down for Carney Lansford. Yeah, Dan, they've had, I watched some YouTube videos. They make little splints, either for the whole finger or for they were calling this like they had little medical terms for each of these little segments. And you could buy like an 8-pack on Amazon of a almost looked like a foam kind of circular splint that you could put on the specific area. So I saw that, and I saw one that did the whole finger. I've seen tape for it. I've seen a doctor was on there telling you to do exercises like massaging this area. There's different things I've been watching, so I'm going to watch them again and maybe try some of the exercises to see if that helps. Here's Carney Lansford. He's hitting 277, 9 homers, 38 driven in. He hit 289 real world. 6-5, and that is going to be a 1 for a triple. Anything else is a double. So a double for Carney Lansford. Now, one thing, writing doesn't hurt right now. It doesn't affect me. But if I have to sit down and write a long list of things in a row without taking a break, the finger will kind of bother me at that point. But just writing it once in a while like this isn't bad. Fortunately, I got a dice tower and I don't have to do this, because that might, if I had to do this over and over and over, that might give me problems. But fortunately, I have a dice tower and I can shake it in my left hand, and that is fine. My right hand is perfectly fine except for this ring finger. Everything, and this little pad right here. Everything else is fine. Well, here's Jose Canseco. He's hitting 272, 17 homers, 48 driven in. He's hitting 257 real world. So I apologize. I'm not trying to give everybody the finger. I'm just explaining that it's my finger that's causing the problems. All right. 1-8, and a 1-8 is going to be a strikeout. Out number 2. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid going to the doctor about this. I want to try to see if I can use exercise, rest, and maybe some protective gear to help me out. I'm not sure if this is something that will go away and then come back later, or whether I'm stuck with it for life, or what the story is. But anyway, I've heard the term trigger finger. I think I've always figured trigger finger meant that, I was getting confused with trigger happy, I guess, about people who are, like in the Westerns that were trigger happy and pulled the trigger before they ask any questions. But anyway, it's something, you learn things. All right, here's Mark McGwire. He is hitting 281, 22 homers, 50 driven in. He hit 289 real world. But I am glad I'm retired, because I don't think me trying to lift heavy auto parts would be good with this finger. Especially if I'm carrying something like a windshield or something, I could easily drop that. This thing could lock up. I could drop and damage it. So it's probably a good idea that I'm not out there. And plus, my habit when I drive is I drive with my right hand. Although I'm switching over to my left hand now, but my habit is that I've been driving for years, is to use my right hand only. And again, the finger will wrap around the steering wheel, and that can cause stuff. 3-5 against the left-hander is a walk. So McGwire will walk, and it's going to pass the baton to Ron Say, who's playing in the DH slot because of the left-hander. They platoon him and use Reggie Jackson most of the time, but when lefties are up there, it's Ron Say. He faced lefties 73% of his at-bats. Right now, Ron Say is hitting 208, 5 homers, 9 driven in. He hit 221 real world. It is a clutch situation for Ron Say. He does lose one hit on a 1-3. 1-7, though, it's going to be a strikeout. So it's Carlton with the strikeout. And he pitches around the mess. Keeps Oakland off the board. We go to the bottom of the first. Oakland nothing, and Cleveland coming to bat. And Dave Stewart, the ace of the Oakland A's, 20-game winner in 1987. See his card and his numbers, 20-13 with a 368 earned run average for Mr. Dave Stewart. That's what he did real world. In the replay to this point, Dave Stewart is 9-3 His record right here, 9-3. ERA 2.64, so he's pitching significantly better. 119 innings pitched, 101 hits, 55 walks, 98 strikeouts. It's probably his record is probably better because of the wins by Oakland, but his ERA is down by a run too, so that also helps. So Stewart will be facing Brett Butler, leadoff man for Cleveland. Butler hitting .362 on the replay, 5 homers, 18 driven in. He hit .295 real world. It's a 3-7 for Butler, and that's a 1 for a single. And he gets a look at a double die shows up. How about that? Good luck there for Brett Butler on that 3-7 against right-handers. He's got a 1 for a single. Anything else 2 to 20 is a line out, and the double die shows up as a 1. So Brett Butler reaches, and he will be looking to run. Stewart is a +3 when combined with catcher Mickey Tettleton. So that's going to make for right pickings for Brett Butler. To get the lead, Butler needs a 2 through 8 for a 12 to get a good lead. And he gets the good lead, so he's going to go. 15 being held as a 13, but the +3 is a 16. T6 if Tettleton wants to worry about throwing error. But it's a 1 to 16, and he's in there. And he is in there. Stolen base for Brett Butler. So Butler singles on the 1 on the double die and then steals second base. Look at the numbers on Butler for his stolen bases, both in real world and on the replay. Real world, he stole 33 bases, got caught 16 times. In the replay, this is stolen base number 24. He's been caught 14 times. So 24th stolen base for Brett Butler. He had 36 of them real world. That brings up Tony Bernazard, second baseman. He will later get traded to Oakland, ironically. But right now he's with Cleveland. 243 average, 9 homers, 35 driven in. He at 250 real world. 2-7 for Bernazard, struck him out. Stewart needed that one. Getting out without the runners advancing. And now that'll bring up Julio Franco. So without Joe Carter, Franco usually bats second, Carter third, but they moved Bernazard up in the order to second, Franco third. And so Joe Carter out for that week long with a broken nose. He'll be back in a week. Here's Julio Franco. Hit 291 on the replay, 5 homers, 33 driven in. He hit 319 real world. Nothing on the havoc. Stewart has an 8 wild pitch rating, no balk. 2-4 for Franco, and that's a fly ball to left. That's out number 2. Hauled in by Canseco. And it's a clutch situation for Pat Tabler. Pat Tabler in the clutch is actually rated neutral. Tabler hitting 319 on the replay, 4 homers, 33 driven in. He hit 307 real world. He is the first baseman in this game. 6-6, and that'll be a 1 to 13 single, but that's a 20, so he's going to line it to Alfredo Griffin, and the inning's over. I also want to give a shout out to play.com. Great company. My order for all the golf courses that I needed to do my season came in yesterday afternoon, right about 5 o'clock Eastern is when it showed up. And I actually did an unboxing. I didn't put it on video, but I recorded it, but just never upload it. I doubt I ever will. But I did an unbagging, it was called, because there's no box. It was unbagging. And in the video, I was going through all the courses in real life and why I needed this course to play this tournament and so forth. And then I realized, because I ordered, it was three course sets, which are 4 courses apiece, and then about 4 or 5 separate courses individually. And so I was going through the list of the courses I needed and how the tournaments were going to work and the playoffs and all that stuff. And then I realized that they charged me for it. It's on the order. They charged me for it, but they omitted the last course I needed, which was the course in Atlanta where they play the actual tournament championship last weekend of the regular season. The tour championship top 30 players are there and everything else. I think it's called East Lake or something like that. So I still have Keith Avalone on my Facebook Instant Messenger. And so I sent Keith a little message, said, "Hey, Keith, I bought these courses. They came today. I love the game, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Oh, by the way, somehow or another, this East Lake course got left out." And he was very apologetic and said, "I'll get you that course sent to you tomorrow." I told him I didn't need it till September because it's not going to be till the end of my season. But he said, "No, I'll get it out to you." So hopefully today, it's going out today, special mail. So don't know if I could contact Hal Richmond that quickly, but it's just nice when you have a smaller company like Play, although I think they're getting bigger. But it's nice to have that personal touch. I almost feel like I'm the commissioner calling Batman on the bat phone. I've got a direct line to Keith. So that's always a nice thing. And granted, Strat-O-Matic customer service has gotten better. When I needed something, I was able to contact their customer service people. I didn't have to talk to Hal to get it straight. They were able to get it straight for me. But with Play, I always go to Keith, so I don't know who else to go to. I don't know if it's a generic. I guess there's a generic email you can send something to, but I told him I sent one straight to the source. I said, I don't know who else to talk to. I want to talk to you. I told him I wasn't mad about it. I realized mistakes happen. It's just that I wanted to let him know that it happened. And I've got it documented on my unbagging that it wasn't there. So yet it was on my invoice. So, but he said he's going to take care of it. So all is well. Told him I said there's no rush because I don't need it until the end. But fortunately, it was not it was not Pebble Beach. They did include that when I needed because that's going to be this week's tournament. Had it been Pebble Beach left out, then I would have needed a rush for it because I'm going to need that as of Saturday. All right. Anyway, I digress. Mike Davis, right fielder, hitting 288 on the replay, 15 homers, 45 driven in. He at 265 real world. Lefty-lefty matchup against Carlton. 2-9, and that is a home run, 1-8. That's a 12, so he'll settle with a double. Double for Mike Davis. Leadoff double. That brings up Tony Phillips, second baseman, switch hitter. Phillips hitting 233 on the replay. 4 homers, 27 driven in. He at 240 real world. That's a 110, and that's a single 1-12. That's a 7, so base hit 1 star. And that's going to put runners on the corners with nobody out. And look out, here come the Oakland A's. Phillips is going to get a lead, and he will be held because he does have the asterisk there. But he's with the runners at the corners, nobody out. He's not going to try to steal. But if Cleveland doesn't hold him on, he gets the jump automatically. So they don't want to give a free base. They will hold him on. Cleveland is playing back for the double play. Mickey Tettleton, the catcher, hitting 213 on the replay, 9 homers, 20 driven in. He at 194 in the actual season. Infield is back for a double play, but Carlton could really use a pop-up or a strikeout right about now. We get a 4-4, switch hitter batting right. That's a catcher X, so we're looking at Dempsey. He's a 3-E13 is Rick Dempsey. So veteran battery here, Carlton and Dempsey. They've both been around a while. So we got a 3 and a 6. That could be some sort of wild pitch or pass ball. 3 and a 6. That's a potential pass ball. If not, it's going to be a pop-out, but it's a potential pass ball. That is a 15. He's an E13. That could be problems on its own, and it is. So we go to P/P with an error. P/P with an error. The batter hits a squib out in front of the plate, and the catcher can't handle it. It's a one-base error. Runners advance one base. So it takes away the pass ball chance because the error overrode that. So it's going to be an E2 on Dempsey. Scoring is Davis, and going to second is Phillips. So the error on Dempsey brings in the first run, and now first and second, nobody out for Stan Javier. And Javier is a good bunter, not a very good hitter. So he will bunt, try to get the runners in scoring position. Corners are expecting it. So we'll see who's going to field it. 2 says it is fielded by the pitcher Carlton. He is now a B bunter, so basically a 1-9 or less. and he gets the good bunt down with the 7. So it's good sacrifice. Good sacrifice hit. Carlton will throw to first base with Bernazard covering as the first baseman Tabler was charging. And now runners at second and third with only one out. And the infield's going to come in. They will come in against Alfredo Griffin. Infield is in to try to choke that runoff. Griffin grounded to short his first chance. 2-7 for Griffin. That's a single to right field clean. Didn't matter what they were in or out. That's a single clean. Phillips will score. Tettleton will hold. Corey Snyder in right field has a -4 arm, and with one out, they don't want to risk a slow-running Tettleton, so they will hold Tettleton at third. So an RBI single from Alfredo Griffin. Runners at the corners is now 2-0 Oakland for Carney Lansford. Griffin will be held. Carlton's a 0 arm, or it's a -1 arm and a +1 for a net 0. So they're not going to send Griffin. They don't want to run themselves out of an inning, but they will have to hold him on. And Lansford, who doubled his first time, is at the plate, and the infield back for the double play. Try to get out of the inning. 2-7. Doesn't matter. It's a single to left field. Another base hit, this one from Lansford. That will score Tettleton. 3-0 Oakland. Going to second is Griffin. And they're starting to get to Mr. Carlton right here. It's now 3-0. Still only one out for Jose Canseco. Runners at first and second. Carlton needs a double play in the worst way. 2-8. It gets a strikeout, so that's the next best thing. And Canseco 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts for Canseco. So it's a clutch situation for Mark McGuire in the clutch against lefties. He will lose a hit on 3-12. Everywhere else he is rated as neutral. He walked his first chance. 1-9, and that is a double 1 to an 11. That's a 13, so it's a single 2 stars. That will drive home Griffin from second to make it 4-0 Oakland. And it's going to third is Lansford. So RBI single from Mark McGuire. RBI number 51 for McGuire on the season. That'll bring up Ron Say, the 9th man to bat in the inning. Still a clutch situation, but Say has that 1-3 as his only factor. 6-9, and that's going to be a walk, so they're going to bat around. Have to move all these innings over one spot as they bat around now. As the man who led off the inning, Mike Davis, will come back to the plate. Bases are loaded, 2 outs for Mike Davis, and the Cleveland bullpen is loosening. They do have Rich Yet loosening in the bullpen. He is their long relief man. We got lefty-lefty with Mike Davis. That's a 1. Carlton's wild pitch is a 9. And he uncorks the wild pitch. That will produce a run. Lansford will come in to score via the wild pitch. Other runners move up. It's now 5-0 Oakland. 5-run inning. And they're still looking for more. Second and third, 2 outs for Mike Davis. Lefty-lefty matchup. 5-6, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Franco. 2E26 for Franco. 2-7 should be okay. Not holding anybody on, so 2-7 should work, and it does with a G2. That's a 7, and he's an E26. E26, there's no 7 there, so they finally get out of the inning as Davis makes the out. But it's a 5-run inning for Oakland, and they give Dave Stewart a 5-0 lead to work with. And we'll see if Carlton's going to come back or not. We'll have to wait and see. Carlton is technically tired, though. So it might be dangerous to bring him back when he's tired. So that very well could be all for Mr. Carlton. He might only make it 2 innings. Stewart now, given a large lead to protect. He'll be facing Mel Hall. Hall hitting 287 on the replay, 9 homers, 26 driven in. He hit 280 real world. 4-5 against Stewart. That's a split. A 6 is a line out right to Tony Phillips. And there's one away. Here is Carmen Castillo, the designated hitter. Castillo hitting 211 on the replay, 3 homers, 8 driven in. He hit 250 real world. 1-8, and that's a strikeout. The second strikeout for Stewart. Fortunately, I was able to hit the mute button before I coughed in anybody's ear. All right, so 2 up and 2 down. And here comes Brooke Jacoby. Jacoby, third baseman, hitting 323 on the replay, 13 homers, 44 driven in. He at 300 even, real world. That's a 311, and that's a ballpark blast for Brooke Jacoby. And that's a 6. It's gone. Brooke Jacoby. Look at it again, close up on the home run. The roll was a 311 for Brooke Jacoby against right-handers. It is the ballpark blast. And in Cleveland, right-handers 1 to an 11. That's a 6. So Brooke Jacoby puts Cleveland on the board, a solo home run. And for Jacoby, that is home run number 14 on the replay. He hit 32 of them real world. 14th on the replay, RBI number 45. And Cleveland is finally on the board. It's 5-1. Brings up the right fielder, Corey Snyder. Snyder hitting 249 on the replay, 11 homers, 34 driven in. He hit 236 real world. It's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Stewart to end the inning. But Cleveland's finally on the board, thanks to Brooke Jacoby. We go to the third. It's 5-1. Yet is loose in the bullpen and ready, but they're going to let Carlton at least start the inning and see how he progresses. He is fatigued, so if we hit a thing with a circle on it, not only will it turn to a base hit, but my rule is that's automatic removal of the pitcher at that point. So Tony Phillips will lead off the third. We get a 1-5, and that's a ground ball to short as Franco makes the play. Here's Mickey Tettleton. 5-7, switch hitter batting right-handed is a walk. And that'll take us to Stan Javier. He bunted his first time up. This is his first actual chance to swing away. He hit 192 real world, 2 homers, 7 driven in. I'm sorry, 192 in the replay, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He hit 185 real world. 6-7 against the switch hitter. That's a base hit to right field. So this might be the beginning of the end for Steve Carlton. Yet is ready if they want to make the move. Alfredo Griffin is your batter. He is a switch hitter. So I think he's going to let him pitch to Griffin. That'll be his last batter. They won't let him pitch to Lansford or Canseco. This is going to be Carlton's last batter. Trying for the double play. But Rich Yet is ready and ready to come in. 1-7, and that's a home run 1-3. That's a 12, so it's a fly to left. Out number 2, but they've seen enough. They're going to make the move to the bullpen. So that's it for Steve Carlton. He's going to go 2 2/3 innings. And he got knocked around quite a bit. And Rich Yet will be coming in for the Tribe. He is well rested. Is Rich Yet. We'll get the numbers on him as he comes into the ball game. Rich Yet. Rich Yet, 3-9 with a 5.25 ERA real world. He also had 1 save. On the replays, 2-2 with a 3.26 ERA with 1 save, so much better. 50 innings pitched, 36 hits, 29 walks, 32 strikeouts. So Rich Yet is on. He is a -4 on his hold, which makes him a -3. And we can't close the book on Carlton yet until the inning is over, because he's responsible for the 2 guys on base. Here is Carney Lansford. Yet to Lansford. 2-3. Pops him up to short, and that'll do it. So we can close on Carlton now. 5 runs. They were all earned. He gave up 7 hits. And let's see about his walks. He walked 1, 2. Actually, they weren't all earned. I forgot there was an error there. So hold on. Hold the phone. They weren't all earned. I'm going to fix that. I forgot there was a Dempsey error. So that changes everything. Actually, I'm going to go to Strat Computer's box score, and they'll see how many earned runs he had versus unearned. So only 2 of the runs are earned according to the Strat Computer. So it's 5 runs, 2 earned. So 2 earned runs. Walked 3, struck out 3. So that's the final total on Mr. Carlton. So nothing doing there in the third for Oakland. Still stays 5-1. So Cleveland's still within shouting distance. They didn't want this game to get away from them. And Rick Dempsey will lead things off for Cleveland. Dempsey on the replay is hitting .204, a homer and 12 driven inning at 177 real world. 2.8 is a base on balls. So Dempsey draws the first walk issued by Dave Stewart. Brings up Butler. Singled and stole second his first time up, but stranded there. 6-6 lefty, and that's a double 1-10, but that's a 12, so it's a fly ball to right field. Hauled in by Mike Davis, 1 away. Good morning, Brown. How are you? Here's Bernazard. Strikeout victim his first time up. 3-7 for Bernazard. Ground ball to third base B, so the fielder's choice will eliminate Dempsey, and Bernazard will be the new runner at first base. 5-4 on the fielder's choice. 2 down. Bernazard could try for the lead here and get in scoring position. They are down 5-1, though. Let's see. If he got the lead, it'd be a 15, held 13. It'd be a 16, 1-16 if he got the lead, so I think that's worth the gamble. He needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. 11, he's caught. 7, he doesn't get the lead, so it's all a moot point. So here's Julio Franco. 4-8, and that's a fly to center, and Javier runs it down, and that'll do it. Nothing in the third for Cleveland. At the end of 3, it's Oakland 5 and Cleveland 1. Top of the 4th, and Rich Yet coming back out. Retired Lansford to end the 3rd to get Carlton out of a further mess, and now he's in there for the long haul. Here's Jose Canseco. Oh, on that Form B sheet, there are columns over here. So I don't have one to show, but well, I kind of technically do right here. Right here, what I would do, and I just put a line here, and I put the visiting team here and the home team here. And so if I use more than 3, I just bring it right over here. That's the only way I know to do it. Which is why I love this particular one, because it splits them up and gives you 6 pictures you can use. So that's why I really love this score sheet, this version. All right, so Jose Canseco will lead things off here against Mr. Yet. 1-5, and that is a ground ball to Franco. Whoops, up here. Ground ball to Franco, 1 away. Of course, with Oakland batting around now, it throws my columns off, because now I'm in this column for Oakland, but I go back a column for Cleveland. So anytime that bats around, it messes up the score sheet. Here's McGuire. That's a 2-9 for McGuire. He grounds to Franco. So Rich Yet bringing some stability to the Cleveland pitching staff, for the moment at least. 2 up, 2 down for Ron Say. 2-9 for Say. He draws the walk. Second walk he's drawn. First walk for Yet. And here's Mike Davis. 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating on Yet, and I got to go to the computer for that because it's not on the card. So Yet has a balk rating of 0. Wild pitch is 18, but a balk is a 0. So got to be careful of the wild pitch, but he's safe on the balk. 2-11, and he just missed a home run. 2-10 would have been a home run. 2-11's a pop out the first. And Tabler is there to get it, and that does it for Oakland here in the top of the 4th. So Rich Yet pitching well in relief. He's got a fatigue factor of 3, so he can go for a while as long as he's effective. Here's Stewart. He'll be facing Tabler, Hall, and Castillo here in the bottom of the 4th. That's a 6-3 righty-righty. Is a ground ball pitcher X. Stewart's an E6. Computer says he's a 4 range, so he's a 4 E6 is Stewart. 4 and a 15 is fine. And the E6 and the 9 probably is not a problem. Hold on, let me get my right one here. E6 and a 9, probably not a problem here. E6 and the only, see, that's a 9. The only errors on E6 are 3, 13, and 18, so he's good to go. Stewart makes the play, throws Tabler out. 1 away. Mel Hall steps to the plate. 4-6, and that's going to be a strikeout for Stewart. That is his third, actually his 4th strikeout. 4 strikeouts for Stewart. And that brings up Carmen Castillo. 4-3, and that's a fly left field X. We're looking at Canseco, 3-9 for Canseco. 3-5, this might drop. It's possible. I think it will. 3-5 definitely does drop in for a single. That's a 6. I don't think Canseco is going to make an error on that. E9, there is no 6. So, but it is a base hit. Carmen Castillo, a 2-out single. And that brings up Jacoby, who homered his first time up. Looking to do it again and get Cleveland back in this game. 4-8, but he won't do it. That's a fly to center. Javier's got it. That ends the inning. At the end of 4 complete, it's Oakland 5 and Cleveland 1. All right. We will go to the top of the 5th. Leading off for Oakland will be Tony Phillips. It'll be Phillips, Tettleton, and Javier, bottom third of the order against Rich Yet. Phillips, his first time up, singled, and then he grounded to short, 1 for 2. 2-7, and that's a strikeout for Phillips. First strikeout for Yet. 1 away for Mickey Tettleton. He has reached on an error and walked. 3-10 for Tettleton. He will strike out. So back-to-back Ks to start the 5th for Rich Yet. He's on a roll. Much better than what Carlton was doing, that's for sure. Here's Javier. 5-11, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly left field X. We're looking at Hall, 3-4 for Mel Hall. 3-17, he'll get to that. E4 and a 12, probably not an error. Nope, 3-15, 18, and 4 are the errors, so good play for Mel Hall. 3 up and 3 down inning for Rich Yet. He's looking good to go at least 1 more inning. Possibly 2 more innings. Save that bullpen. All right, Stewart. Of course, they had they were the team since they played yesterday against Minnesota. Their bullpen didn't get the day off like everybody else's did, so they got to be, they got to monitor the bullpen and keep them straight. Here's Corey Snyder. 2-4 for Snyder. He grounds it to Alfredo Griffin, 1 away. So 1 down, and that brings us to Rick Dempsey, the catcher. He walked his first time up. 1-10, and that's a ground ball to short. Griffin will handle it again. Liked it so much the first time, he did it again. 2 up, 2 down for Brett Butler. 1 for 2 with a stolen base. 4-12, left-handed. Fly to center. Javier's got it. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Tribe. At the end of 5 complete, it's still 5-1 Oakland. And we'll go to the top of the 6th. Rich Yett pitching really well. It'll be Griffin, Lansford, and Canseco, top of the order for the A's. Griffin is 1 for 3. Runs scored. 3-8 for Griffin, and that's going to be a 1-9 single. That's a 2, so a base hit for Alfredo Griffin. Let me see if I need to back this camera up a little bit. Nope, we're still showing the card, so we're still good. All right, so a base hit. 1-9 was a single, and that's a 2, so base hit for Alfredo Griffin. He's 2 for 4. Now the hold, much better for Yett at -3. So if he tried to get the lead, it'd be a 1-10. I think they're going to hold him here with the big boys coming up. They're going to keep him at first base. There's Carney Lansford. Of course, Cleveland will hold him on. Here's Lansford. 2-3 for Lansford. Pops it up to short. Franco is there, 1 away. For Canseco, he's been quiet. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 6-10 against Yett, and that's an in-home. He's quiet no more. 6-10 is an in-home run. That's one of the problems with Rich Yett is he's susceptible to the long ball. And there you can see 6-10 against right-handers. You got the in-home run directly right there on Rich Yett's card, and that is a 2-run home run from Jose Canseco, as he obviously has normal power. So for Canseco, all right, wait a minute, I did do something around the computer. Let me fix this real quick. I forgot to enter the single by Griffin. So Griffin singled, and then Lansford popped it up. And then Canseco hit his home run. Home run number 18 for Jose Canseco on the replay. He had 31 of them real world. RBIs 49 and 50 on the replay. He had 113 RBI real world. It's now 7-1 Oakland. Off the blast from Jose Canseco. And here's Mark McGwire. 3-7 for McGwire, struck him out. And that will make it 2 away. For Ron Say. .28 for Say. He draws another walk. He's walked 3 times in this game. He had 22 walks and 104 at bats and 32 strikeouts. So he was a walk or strikeout machine, apparently, as he draws the 2-out walk for Mike Davis. Second walk for Yett to go with his 3 strikeouts. Davis 4-2, and that's a ballpark blast, and that's gone with a 1. A 2-run home run from Mike Davis, and I think Rich Yett may have gotten to the end of his rope as he is out of here. Mike Davis, home run number 16 on the replay. He had 22 of them real world. RBI 46 and 47. 4 runs are in. It's 9-1 Oakland. And we will get a new arm coming in for Cleveland, as that's it for Yett. And the new arm will be Scott Bales, another guy that could give him some innings. Scott Hay Bales. to make sure he's not going to start anytime soon. I don't think he is. Let's see here. Nope, they don't show him as doing that. So Bales will make his way on from the Cleveland bullpen. On the real season, Scott Bales was 7-8 with a 4.64 ERA, and he also registered 6 saves. On the replay, he is 3-5 with 3 saves, but an ERA of 6.03, 60 innings pitched, 80 hits, 17 walks, and 31 strikeouts. So yet, we can close the book on yet. He's going to go 2 1/3. Or actually, it's going to go 2 full, I should say. 2 innings pitched, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He gave up 3 hits and 4 runs. They were all earned. And it is now 9-1. So Tony Phillips steps up with 2 outs and the bases clear. It's a 1-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to short to end the inning. But a 4-score Abraham Lincoln inning, and all of a sudden this one's out of hand. It is 9-1 Oakland, and Stewart can pitch for as long as he like. He's got a comfortable lead. He can just do what he wants, I guess. And La Russa can use him as long as he likes, or bring in a fresh arm if he wants. They had the game off yesterday, so they got fresh arms out there. It's Bernazard, 5-5, and that's a base on balls. And that is the second walk issued by Stewart. Of course, with the score being 9-1, there'll be no more stolen bases or attempted leads or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a 2, so we're going to looking at wild pitch, or I'm sorry, balk or pass ball. Look at that pass ball chance on Tettleton. It's only a 2. And it's no pass ball. Here's Franco. 6-2, and that's going to be a ballpark blast for Franco. 1-11, but that's a 17. That's the kind of day it's been for Cleveland. They don't get the D20 roll when they need it. Just a long fly out to Canseco, 1 away. And yes, Dan, Canseco, the scene of the crime of Canseco's headbutting a ball for a home run was here at Cleveland Stadium while with the Texas Rangers. He did a lot of crazy things. He also pitched and hurt his arm, pitching in a mop-up game. All that was doing with Texas. I don't think La Russa would have stood for all that, but Bobby Valentine, or whoever the manager was at the time, said, screw it. After his tabler, 2-6, and that's a double, 1-11. That's a 5. It's a double, but 2-star double, so the runner, Bernazard, will hold at third base. But it will be a double for Tabler. Second and third, 1 out. Infield, of course, playing back with a 9-run lead, or 8-run lead. Here's Mel Hall. He's 0 for 2. 4-9, and he's going to fly it to center. There is a B there, so it's a sacrifice fly for Mel Hall. Bernazard comes in to score to cut the lead to 9-2. Sac fly by Hall. His 27th run batted in of the season on the replay. 2 away. Runner at second for Carmen Castillo. Still technically a clutch situation by rule. So 3-2, he loses a hit, and that's it. That's a 2. Balk or pass ball again. Balk chance on Stewart. He has a 0 balk, so he cannot balk. 1-9 for Castillo. He grounds it to third, and that will end the inning. So 9-2 our score as we go to the 7th inning here in Cleveland. Steak by the lake, as they call it. Scott Bales back out. And they're going to try to see if Bales can finish the game, quite frankly. Not burn another bullpen on him. Here's Tettleton, along with Javier and Griffin. 3-5 for Tettleton. He will ground it to short. 1 away. for Javier. Javier 1 for 2 with a sacrifice hit. 6-4, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-19, but he has weak power, so just be a single for Javier. No home run, of course, with the score being what it is. They're not going to try to steal or anything like that. They're not going to hold him on, but they're not going to try to steal. Kind of gentleman's agreement with the score being what it is. Here's Alfredo Griffin. 4-10. Switch hitter batting right-handed is a strikeout. So Bales with his first strikeout. And here's Carney Lansford. Lansford is 2 for 4. That's a 2. Possible balk or pass ball. Pass ball chance on Dempsey is a 3. So no pass ball. 5-8 is going to be a strikeout for Bales, his second. That will end the inning. So we go to the 7th inning stretch, and it is 9-2. And this will be the fatigue inning for Dave Stewart, so keep an eye on that. 7 is his fatigue number. He'll be facing Jacoby, Snyder, and Dempsey, the scheduled hitters. Like I said, nothing really on the bench for Cleveland, so they're pretty much stuck with who they got. The only possibility is you could bring Chris Bando in, but what's the point? 6-11, and that is a ground ball first base X. We're looking at McGuire, 3E12. 3-15 is good. He'll get to that. E12, and that is a 7. First baseman, E12. There's a 6 and there's a 6 and a 9, but not a 7. So McGuire will get it and flip to Stewart covering for out number 1. Brings up Corey Snyder. He is struck out and grounded to short. 6-8, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue as of yet, and that is strikeout number 5 for Mr. Stewart. Stewart looking to get it to join the 10-win club in the replay. That's an elite group of pitchers to this point that have won 10 games, only a few of them, led by Jimmy Key, of course. But here's Rick Dempsey. 5-9, and that's a fly to right to end the inning. So 1-2-3 inning means that Stewart keeps full endurance into the 8th. We go to the 8th. It is Oakland comfortably in front by the score of 9-2. Bales will be facing Canseco, McGuire, and Say. Canseco, McGuire, and Say. Canseco had a big 2-run homer last at bat. 6-5 for Bales. That'll be a 1-4 triple, but that's a 12, so he'll settle with the double. Canseco's gotten hot the last 2 at bats. Homer and now a double. That is the 12th hit for Oakland in this ball game. And here's McGuire. He has really been quiet. He's 1 for 3. 3-9 against the lefty. He will draw a walk. Does set up a double play. You want to look at it in a positive spin. And speaking of walks, here's Ron Say. He's walked 3 times. Tribe looking for a double play. 2-4. They get a fly ball to center. That's out number 1. So they don't get the double play, but they at least get the out with nobody advancing. And here's Mike Davis, lefty. Davis homered his last time up. 2-7, and he will strike out this time. 3rd strikeout for Bales. 2 down, and still by rule a clutch situation for Tony Phillips against a lefty. He gains a hit on 3-8 and gains a hit on 2-6. So clutch is still in effect. Oh, that didn't go through, so nothing's in effect there until we get a legitimate roll going through here. 4-11, switch hitter batting right. Ground ball pitcher X. Bales is a 3E24. 3 E24 for Bales. 3 and a 13, he will be just fine when it comes to that. But we're checking the error. That is an 11, and he is an E24 as a pitcher. E24, there's an 11 sitting right here. 10, 11, 12 right in a row in the E24. So it's a one-base error that will load the bases and keep the inning going. That is the second error on Cleveland. Bases are loaded for Mickey Tettleton. He didn't discover Fruit Loops until 2 seasons from now. But he will be the biggest advertisement for Fruit Loops in a long time, in a couple of years. And again, that got stuck in there. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe my dice tray has trigger finger. All right, 1-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to short to end the inning, so they leave them loaded. But they're still comfortably in front 9-2, and Bales obviously will finish out the game by pitching the ninth as well. So they can use Yet and Bales, but keep all their other guys rested. Here's Stewart. He's got full endurance because he gave up nothing in the 7th inning, so he has full endurance. As we head to the bottom of the 8th, 9-2, not the closest game in the world, but that happens. Here's Butler, 6-4, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-8. That's a 2, and Butler does have normal power against right-handers, so that's gone. Brett Butler leads off the bottom of the 8th with a home run. For Butler, that is his 6th home run of the replay. He hit 9 of them real world. This one is his 6th one. His RBI is number 19. So 6-4 against lefties. The in-home run 1-8, and he does have the normal power. So it is now 9-3. Stewart really not sweating anything, though. Still got a 6-run lead. If he gives up solo homers, that's not going to hurt him at all. Bernazard, 2-5, and that's a pop out to first. You give the 3-run homers, that's where it adds up. Solo homers don't do much for you, particularly when you're ahead by 7 runs or 6 runs. Here's Franco, 4-8, and that's a fly to center field. Javier is there, 2 down. And that'll send up Pat Tabler. 3-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. And for Stewart, that is strikeout number 6. So he gives up the home run, but nothing else. So Stewart certainly looks to be able to complete the game. Got a 6-run cushion, so I think LaRusse is going to tell his bullpen, just don't worry about it. Just go to the clubhouse and relax. So Bales will come out for the top of the 9th to face Javier, Griffin, and Lansford. Javier, Griffin, and Lansford. Back this up just a smidgen here. All right, here's Javier. 5'11", right-handed. As a switch hitter is a ballpark blast. It's 1-11. That's a 5, but he has weak power against the lefties. So, and I think he got the same result last time with a ballpark blast, but he has he had home run check, but he had weak power. So again, goes back to this base hit. Base hit for Javier will not be a home run, but it will be a single. And for Oakland, that is their 13th hit of the ball game. Here's Alfredo Griffin. Griffin, 3-7 against the lefty. Split 1-2 is a single, and that's the way it's been for Oakland. They get a 10% chance on a base hit, and they find it with the double die. Back-to-back singles to start the 9th. And here comes Carney Lansford. Cleveland really does not want to use another pitcher. We get a 6-3, and that is a ballpark blast, and that's gone. Carney Lansford, a 3-run shot, probably the coup de grace of this game, makes it 12-3. 3-run home run for Carney Lansford on the ballpark blast. For Lansford, home run number 10 on the replay. He hit 19 of them real world. RBIs 40, 41, and 42. And now what do you do with Bales? Well, Cleveland's going to go to their bullpen, but not for who you think. They're going to bring in Junior Noboa to pitch. Junior Noboa will be in to pitch. He'll try to pitch the ninth inning as best as he can. Junior Noboa. So Noboa making his way in. And of course, with a position player pitching, that means we go to the rule book. If I can find my rule book. Had it here a second ago. Now I can't remember what I did with it. Hopefully I can find it. Should be here somewhere. There it is. So, when you bring a position player in to pitch, if the white die is a 4, 5, or 6, we go to bringing in a position player to pitch. So I'll show this up for people who not familiar with it. Bringing a player into pitch, a position player into pitch, they're going to use this card whenever the white die is a 4, 5, or 6. If it's a 1, 2, or 3, it goes off the batter card as normal. So Noboa will face Jose Canseco. And of course, it's off the pitcher card, 610. 610 is going to be a catcher X. Catcher X. That is Dempsey. He's a 3 E13. 3 and a 2. That could be a squibber for a hit. See, 3 and a 2. No, it's a ground ball. Let's see if he makes an error. That's a 13, and he is a 13 at catcher. No, there's no error there. He has errors on 4, 6, 15, 16, 17, and 18, but not 13. So a number that Rick Dempsey will throw the runner out, 1 away. And that'll bring up Mark McGwire. 1-5 for McGwire. Didn't matter who was pitching. 1-5 is a home run for Mark McGwire all day long. Didn't matter if it's lefty, righty, position player, whoever. 1-5 is a solid, basic home run, all in capital letters there for Mark McGwire. He blasted. His teammates are ribbing him for getting a cheap home run off a position player. But he doesn't care. It counts one way or the other. So we go to the computer to put this in as a home run for Mark McGwire. That is his 23rd home run of the season, of the replay. 52nd RBI. He had 49 home runs, of course, real world. Now, with Ron Say coming up, the A's may go to their bench and let somebody get in at bat. So they're going to bring in the recently brought in Dwayne Murphy. He will get in at bat and stay into place as the DH. So Dwayne Murphy is going to get his at bat. Dwayne Murphy. A pinch hit here in the 9th. Dwayne Murphy. Murphy has played earlier in the season, so it's not his initial at bat. Murphy on the real world was a 233 hitter with 8 home runs in 219 at bats. In the replay, he is hitting 163 with 43 at bats, a homer and 4 driven in. So Murphy against Noboa. That's a 2-4 for Murphy. He flies it to right, 2 away. And that brings up Mike Davis. One 3 for Davis. That's a ballpark single. 1 to an 11, and of course it's going to fit. That's just the way it's gone for Oakland. Base hit on the ballpark. Hit number 17 for Oakland. Tony Phillips is your batter. Let's see if they bring in somebody for Tony Phillips or not. Actually, Yeah, they're going to let Johnny LeMaster have an at bat and play him at second base. Just, this is scrub time, folks. Got to get these scrubs in at bat once in a while. So LeMaster will pinch hit in the ninth and stay and play second base in the ninth. Johnny LeMaster. See how many at bats he's had so far. LeMaster is 0 for 3 on the replay. In real world, of course, in 24 at bats, he hit 083. Noboa to LeMaster. And it's under the pitcher hitting card, or position pitcher card. 5'10. 5'10 is a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Franco. Franco is 2E26. 2 and a 3. That's questionable. 2 and a 3 is questionable. 2 and a 3. It's a G3. Nobody's being held on, so the G3 is good. That's a 15, and he is an E26 on a 15. There's a 12, 17, and 18, but no 15. So Franco makes the play. Inning is mercifully over. Another 4-score inning for the Oakland A's. And now Dave Stewart, of course, going to be given a chance to come out and finish what he started. Now he's got a 13-3 lead. We'll go to the computer and get the final numbers on Bales as well. Get his totals and also bring LeMaster in to play second base. Computer won't let me continue until I do that. All right, so we go to the box score. Bales was pitching well until the ninth, and then kind of imploded on him. Bales goes 2 1/3. And he's going to give up 5 hits and 3 runs, all earned. And 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Noboa pitched 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and a run, which was the home run from McGuire. No walks, no strikeouts. So for Oakland, 13 runs on 17 hits. Pretty impressive. And Dave Stewart, looking to finish what he started. We'll be facing Hall, Castillo, and Jacoby. Although they might bring up they might go ahead and let Casey Parsons have an at bat just to get his feet wet. So in place of Castillo, they will have Casey Parsons pinch hit for Castillo. But Parsons will be pinch hitting for Castillo. First things first, though, is Mel Hall. 2-6 for Hall, and that is a ground ball to first. Easy play for McGuire, 1 away. Now we go to Casey Parsons. Let's see, I'm imagining this is his. No, actually, he had played earlier against Minnesota, so not his season debut, but it's very early on. Casey Parsons in the real season hit 160 in 25 at bats with a home run. In the replay, he's hitting 500. He's 2 for 4, and both of those hits have been home runs. So he's already exceeded his home run total. How crazy is that? Stewart to Parsons, 6-8. That's a walk. So Casey Parsons, don't want to walk, don't want to deal with Casey Parsons. Casey at the bat scared him, so he walks him. Parsons drew a walk there, which he did not do in the real season, but he did it here against Stewart. Here's Jacoby. Oh, the white dot got hung up again. 110 for Jacoby. It's a ballpark blast. But again, that's the way it's gone for Cleveland. The number's too high on the D20. Just apply to left. Down to the final out. It's Corey Snyder. Last chance. Snyder is 0 for 3. 5-6, and struck him out. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue. An appropriate way to end it for Oakland and Dave Stewart by getting a strikeout to end the ball game. So a dominating performance by the Oakland A's as they dispatched Cleveland pretty easily here in this one. Final score 13-3, 13 runs, 17 hits, no errors for Oakland. 3 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors for Cleveland. The loss, of course, goes to Carlton. He'll drop to 2-4. Dave Stewart improves to 9-3. He goes the distance. 5 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. So Oakland increases their lead in the American League West. No surprise there as they dispatch the Tribe pretty easily. Oakland now a 6.5 game lead on California for second place in the AL West. Looking ahead to tomorrow's game, we will be traveling. Looking at the schedule, it would appear that we are going to be look at the schedule here. Who have I got scheduled here? I don't remember who I had scheduled next. I believe we're going to be in Milwaukee. It's Toronto, Milwaukee. Jimmy Key against Bill Wegman. That's the matchup for tomorrow. So a good one. The top 2 teams in the American League East are going to duke it out at County Stadium in Milwaukee. Toronto bringing the best they have in Jimmy Key, and he'll be facing Bill Wegman of the Brewers. So that'll be tomorrow. Hopefully that game will be a lot closer than this game was, but you never know when the dice are rolled. Anything can happen. So that's going to do it from here. Thank you for everybody who stayed the whole game despite the blowout. And until tomorrow, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I'll see you all down the road.